I started the recording right now, but I'm going to cut it from the beginning here. So I'll just give an introduction and then we'll roll in there. So, greetings, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Dreamscapes. Tonight we have Nancy here to share a dream with us. Say hello, Nancy.
Hello to everybody.
Hello. So my process is, for anyone who's watched the videos before, we're going to go through the dream beginning to end. And I'm just going to listen. Then we'll go back through it again for some details. So first and foremost, if you would just walk us through it from the first thing you remember after falling asleep to the last thing you remember before waking up. Go ahead anytime.
Oh, yeah. So I think I was somewhere like in a castle or in a very old city. And there was my boyfriend and my boyfriend's father, who was not his real father. He was someone else that I didn't know, and very old man that I didn't know. And they were, theoretically, in my dream, they were judges. They were acting like judges. So the place was a court, and these people were judges. And I was in trial along with some other people for something that I did that was really minor. And the thing is that if I would be innocent, I would be left for free. But if I would be like guilty, if they would find me guilty, I would receive the death penalty with an unknown means of, I don't know how to kill us. And I was somewhere else, and then I heard that they found me guilty, and I had to be killed. And I was like, no, this is not possible. I didn't do anything serious. And they were like, yes, but you are not going to receive a favor, because they just gave the death penalty to their daughter and granddaughter. Like my boyfriend, that was a judge, had a daughter, and he found her guilty, and he killed her also as well. He condemned her to the death penalty. And then I was not very afraid. Just I was puzzled why this is happening. And then I tried to escape. And I was running away in a very dark place. And my boyfriend was the judge, was me, wanting to catch me and kill me. It was a very weird dream, like with the death penalty, what does it mean, and the trial and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So that's everything you can remember for now. And then after you were being chased, then you woke up?
Yes, I woke up. I was not caught, or I didn't see me dying or something.
Okay.
I saw myself being chased, and then I woke up.
Okay. Well, that is a good start. Usually the descriptions are pretty short, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on how complicated some of the dreams are.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but I was beginning to ask you about being in the room and the woman and the judges on the balcony. And
yeah.
It seems significant to me that you approached or looked to the woman to give you information. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Let me spread out my notes again here a little bit. Yeah, that seems significant to me, that you were not alone in the room. That there was, it wasn't just you in the room, standing near the balcony, looking at the judges. There was some intermediary, a conduit that the information passed through. So you didn't directly speak with the judges, and you weren't just eavesdropping on their conversation. They weren't talking at all. You were having someone, some third person, give you information. That doesn't bring anything to mind?
No.
when you were going through the breakup or considering breaking up with your boyfriend, did you have female friends who gave you advice?
No.
Or relatives, mother, aunt?
No.
Okay.
Now the video is frozen.
Say again, sorry?
The frozen.
You said the video froze. Is it
I cannot see you moving.
Oh, but you still hear my voice coming through?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, hopefully my direct camera recording is coming through okay. I hope it's tolerable for you.
It's tolerable.
Yeah, we can come back around to that or not. And again, sometimes I'm just rattling doorknobs and I don't know that the door's going to come open, but that still feels significant to me that there's some disconnection, not a disconnection, but an intermediary. You're not getting the information directly, you're getting it from another source. It's not like secondhand, but from a messenger, so to speak. That seems significant. We can roll back around to it. The next thing that seemed significant to me was that you put your boyfriend and his father in the role of judges in this dream. Was that your experience of your boyfriend? Was he kind of judgy and traditional and critical, demanding? Does that make sense? Was his role in the dream consistent with his personality in real life?
Well, I didn't hear you very well because again, sometimes the audio was muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you repeat?
Yes, absolutely. It seems significant to me that you put in your dream, you put your now ex-boyfriend in the role of a judge. Is that consistent with his real life personality in terms of, was he kind of judgmental, maybe along lines of traditional standards?
Yes, that's true. He appeared judgmental to me, not very judgmental to everybody. At the last week, he was pretty judgmental.
Okay. Okay. And then it also seemed relevant or significant that you also put your ex-boyfriend's father in there. Did you get the feeling that in real life your ex-boyfriend's father was also kind of judgmental, or was he not?
Judging me or judgmental in general?
Both. Give me your impression. Yeah.
I don't know him very well, so I don't know if he's judgmental, but surely he's an old-fashioned man, and apparently, yeah, he would be judging, especially women. I don't know.
Okay. That seems interesting too. That what am I trying to say? That you you said that the representation of the ex-boyfriend's father in the dream was not actually him, not actually from real life, but different. You just had the sense that that's who that person was, and that in real life you didn't actually know your ex-boyfriend's father very well, so that seems consistent with your waking experience, is that you had a sense of him, you knew he was there, but you didn't know him very well. So even in the dream, this person was represented as the boyfriend's father, but not exactly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you got the feeling that in real life, the father was kind of an old-fashioned man, traditional. Maybe it was in the dream his castle. Is that? Maybe. Okay. And that thus your boyfriend maybe got his ideas about that because of how he was raised.
Apparently.
Say again?
Apparently.
Okay, apparently. Sure. And you said that commonly, let me just rephrase that. Your boyfriend wasn't typically judgmental towards other people in real life, but was increasingly judgmental towards you around the time of the dream and before the breakup?
Not. Well, he didn't seem very judgmental to other people. But maybe he had his own ideas and he wouldn't reveal them. I don't know. Sure.
Without getting too personal, do you remember the nature of his judgmental attitude towards you? Was he criticizing you for specific failures or personality conflict, if you're comfortable saying?
He was criticizing the way that I was dressing up, the way that I was dealing with the house issues, some things about my previous employment. Generally, he was expressing his opinion.
Okay. So just critical of some of your behaviors and choices. So you were just generally bickering more, fighting more?
Not a lot of fights, but yeah.
You wouldn't describe it as a fight, just more disharmony?
Yeah, more disputes, not exactly fights.
Yeah, different people have different understandings of what the word fight means. Some people are very specific on, it's not a fight unless it's physical. I look at, you can have a fight verbally. This is why this is why I ask, to clarify what you mean, because it doesn't matter what I mean, as long as we're speaking the same, have the same understanding of the words. It also seems significant to me that the judges were remote. They were removed. They're standing over there in judgment. And not only that, they're looking down as past judgment is carried out. And they are, you mentioned them as determined. They were not going to let it go. They were not going to grant a pardon. They were not going to change their minds, change their standards, up to and including the point of carrying out a sentence on someone who is actually related to them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that gave you the sense that if they're not going to let her get away with it, I'm screwed. I got to get out of here.
Yes.
Okay. And then you ran away and he was chasing you. Kind of hearing more about these real life details as they're reflected in the dream. Do you have any new thoughts?
No.
Not at all?
I don't know what the death penalty means in a dream. Like, what is this execution? Does it mean?
Yeah. Well, that is a relevant element. So in my dream work, I don't do the dream dictionary style where if you dream of death, it means one thing. If you dream of water, it means another. So for you, what I'm thinking is that the death penalty is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it's the most serious consequence anyone can receive?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So I'm thinking that represents to you the level of determination, the seriousness of these persons' beliefs. They are going to hold to those beliefs up to and including carrying out a death sentence. That's how serious they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know that it's significant that a death occurred or that death represents something. I think it's just your mind's way of saying they mean business. They are serious. This is, if they'll do that to her, whoa, I got to get out of here. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't think the death is necessarily significant beyond establishing. It's like a decision in your mind. It's like knowing that about them, knowing how far they will go. Now I got to decide what to do to take care of myself. And your answer was, I'm out of here. I'm going to leave. I'm done.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, without. I hate to tell people, here's what it means. I like to build that together, but to me, the pieces are coming together in my mind in this way. You've been having problems with your boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, and leading up to this dream happening, there was a lot of judgment. He was sitting as a judge over you, looking at your behavior and whatnot, and you were struggling with the idea of, do I stay in the castle? Do I stay in this place of comfort, safety, an elevated status kind of, in light of the fact that I'm going to be harshly judged by very firm standards that won't be changed. I have to decide, take it or leave it, and your choice was leave it. And in real life, that was also the decision you came to. You broke up with your boyfriend?
No, he broke up with me.
Okay, and then did the dream happen before or after he delivered that judgment?
After.
After. He sat. Okay, how long were you dating this man?
Like almost 4 months.
4 months. So your relationship was new. It was like a child in longevity, and your boyfriend put that child to death, killed the relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just blew my own mind. Wow, that's powerful symbolism. You now what do you think? Putting those pieces together, what are your thoughts?
I don't like the interpretation.
You don't like it? I'm sorry. Yeah, I cannot offer to make you happy. I can only offer to tell you the truth as I understand it.
No.
Yeah, I wish I could only give people good news, but I think this is important. You're trying to tell yourself something. Have you gone back and forth on trying to decide whether you want to try to get back together with him, convince him to get back together with you?
I'm trying to contact, but he doesn't seem very. He doesn't seem very talkative.
Yeah, he's kind of made his decision, and yeah, I mean that makes even more sense too. Is he's a judge on a balcony, and you were with him until he made the decision for the execution, and then you just had to run. Then that may be another. That running away with him chasing seems significant as well. That's kind of the end of the dream. The end of the dream is that he's pursuing you. I don't know that that's an indication that you believe he wants to get back together, but that even at a distance, even actively running away from him, you still feel his judgment pursuing you. You still feel that you can't get away from how he feels and the fact that affects you. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I don't know, like, if you think the death sentence is like the end of the relationship and he wants, then how he can pursuing the symbolism is that if he runs before me, he pursues me. Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to put together in my own mind. I struggle for the right words and ideas to express, but my impression is the pursuit does not represent him wanting to bring you back to the castle, but the idea that you can't escape his judgment, even if you're not together anymore. You know that his feelings about you will stay the same. or not necessarily that, because he could change his mind and you guys could get back together. I have no predictions about that. But the idea that even after the breakup, even after that experience on the balcony, you're still being pursued, not as much by him, but by you can't escape the judgment. You can't escape his opinion of you, even if you run from him, even if you're separated by distance. That the way he feels about you, his judgment will still follow you. And what does it mean that there's more people with him? That maybe he's not alone in his opinion of you, or you feel that way. You feel that there would be others who would agree with him and add to that, not add to the judgment, but participate in experiencing that judgment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this seems like a dream about the end of your relationship and how impactful that was to you. It can be life-changing to have a relationship end.
Well, I don't believe it. And still, I don't believe it. That can happen.
You haven't given up on the relationship? You think it can be saved?
I think yes. No.
Maybe it can. Maybe it can't. I don't know. That's I would have to be.
The dreams represent the energy like that you receive from the situation around you in the present, or does they say something also for the future? Like that, I don't understand, because sometimes we see some dreams and then this happens in reality, or something happens and you relate it to the dream and you say, oh, I saw this dream, so. Yeah.
I have a friend who tells me he has had dreams and then they come true. I don't know what to do with that. I've never had that experience myself, so I don't want to pretend I can understand it more than on an intellectual level. The idea that it happens, but what does it mean? Oh boy. My process, what I tend to do is look for personal meaning to kind of immediate events when possible, or sometimes remote events, things that happened in the past, and try to make sense of the imagery based on what's going on in your life. So my process, my understanding of dreams is that your brain is constantly receiving information, sights and sounds, and generating its own thoughts all day long and over weeks and months and years of your lifetime. And then we go to sleep. And all of that new information, all of that stimuli is cut off. And now we're just processing what we've already experienced in this unconscious framework. And unconscious means the idea of not receiving new active stimuli. So, to my understanding, as far as I know, and until I get better information, that processing of our lived experience is what's happening in the dreams, and dreams tend to be related to our strongest feelings, our hopes and fears, our struggles, things that we are trying to understand or make sense of. So maybe you've had difficulty coming to terms with this relationship status. Are you together? Are you not? Is he determined? Could it work out? You're having maybe a lot of thoughts and feelings during the daytime about this relationship.
Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry. Just in your waking life recently, you've had a lot of perhaps intense thoughts and feelings about this relationship.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what the dream was about. Ultimately, is trying to continue that process of understanding in your sleep by throwing up these images that allow you to more clearly identify the moving parts. And then once you know what it is, then you kind of know or have a better idea of what to do about it. Does that kind of make sense?
I didn't hear you. Sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh no, it keeps cutting out. I'm so sorry. What did you hear? Can you tell me what you did hear?
Nothing. Like I cannot understand what you said because a lot of things were cut. A lot of words.
I'm sorry, it was cutting in and out. Gotcha. My thought is the reason this dream happened was because of your strong emotions and intense concentration on this relationship issue?
Yes.
Okay. That would be, I think we've got it. That would be my interpretation. You're struggling with a relationship, the end of a relationship, and these are the elements that you feel are personally meaningful to you as they were represented in the dream. And the goal of the dream would be to help you understand those pieces better. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I have some doubt because you represented the child as the relationship.
Yeah.
But the child was only of his child. It was not my child.
That is an interesting point, and I could be entirely wrong. You could go back and look at this again, or give it more time to think about it, and another idea might come to you. Do you have a different idea yourself right now?
No, I don't have any ideas.
Okay.
That's why I asked for that interpretation, because my mind doesn't go somewhere.
Fair enough. Yeah, and the child, we could talk about that just for a minute more. It does seem significant that it was his child and not yours, that was your feeling or experience of that person.
Yes. It's not only his child, but the child of his father. So it cannot be the relationship, because his father doesn't have to do anything to do with the relationship. So it's something of his child.
Yeah. Maybe rather than the relationship, the child represents, what am I trying to say? It's maybe his feelings about the relationship. This is something, what is a child? A child is something you make as a person. It is the offspring of a human, so it would be his flesh and blood. But you said it was not only your boyfriend's child, but also the child of the father-in-law or the boyfriend's father?
Yes.
That is interesting that it would be both at the same time. So
not the child, the granddaughter. If it was the relationship,
okay,
then it would be my child. And his father had nothing to do with it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you were. It's interesting. You were completely disconnected. So from the child, no relationship, not in the same blood.
No, I didn't have any relationship with the child. They had a relationship with the child. I didn't.
Yeah, and I think that is significant that it was their child. It was. I was trying to think of more words associated with child. It's something they created and destroyed, and something that you did not create and had no ability to make a decision about. You couldn't save the child. It wasn't your choice to put it to death. I'm not entirely sure what to make of that, but I think it does relate to, what am I trying to say? It does relate to something belonging to them entirely, from their perspective, from their a child of theirs versus, not one you made with him. Something solely under their control, something, we may have already gotten to it in terms of the idea that this was a blood relative, someone they presumably cared about deeply, and yet they were still willing to pass judgment on them. Maybe my speculation that the child represented your relationship is not relevant. but in a sense, it represented how serious he was about his decisions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That might be it. Yeah. And don't feel bad or disappointed if you need more time to think about this. Like, some people have that moment of, oh, and everything makes sense, and they're like, that's exactly right. And some folks are like, it was so disturbing or impactful that they need more time to think about it. So you had the dream, you were able to think about that for a minute. Then you have the interpretation, one potential analysis, and you need a little more time to think about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if a few more days down the road, some other pieces start falling together now that we've laid it out like we did. Does that make sense? Did I lose you again? It says you're talking, but there's no audio. Yeah.
I'm talking.
Okay,
Can
there you
hear
are.
Me?
Wonderful. Now I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What to say? What else? And this was my dream. I don't know. Like, if a dream happens in reality, this is not very easy to happen in reality. Like, I cannot be seen in a medieval castle.
Yeah, this one's unlikely to come true necessarily. I don't believe it's likely your boyfriend's going to try to actually put his own child to death at any time in the near future or ever.
And what if he doesn't have a girl?
I'm sorry, say again?
He doesn't have a baby girl.
He doesn't have one even.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of these things are symbolic representations. I don't tend towards the prophetic or future vision theory of dreams. Maybe so. That's why I tend to choose conversations with people that are that leave those elements off to the side. Maybe someday I'll get better at that, and I'll know what to do with it. I hope I do. I'd love to be more knowledgeable and authoritative in a way on dreams in general. But what I can offer is going through my process of really getting a good look at what we're dealing with, and then trying to pull the meaning out of it related to whatever's going on in your life. So I think I've probably done the best that I can. I don't know how you feel about it. Was this a worthwhile experience? Something you're at least glad you did, even if
I liked your the interpretation, because I couldn't think of anything. I thought about the relationship, etc. But yeah, still, all these things with the old ideas and the intermediary. What does it like? Why? What does it mean that they didn't speak to me, but there was this intermediary?
My thought was that I go to word associations is that they were removed from you, aloof, and that may be representing also the idea that your boyfriend broke up with you, so he put himself at a distance, and then you experienced him in the dream being judgmental at a distance. That seems related. He put that distance between you, and you couldn't close it. You didn't actually go onto the balcony to join him, to stand next to him. You didn't beg and plead. You didn't watch the execution. You just knew it was happening. They were far away. Does that make sense?
Yes, but can I ask something else?
Absolutely. Anything.
Because the person that appeared to be the father of my boyfriend is, I think, I have the feeling that I know him, and this was like someone, a teacher of mine. Let's say, I would say teacher, so that I don't reveal his position.
Okay.
He's like a teacher of mine. Does it make the situation more complicated?
Maybe. It's another element. It depends on what your associations with that person are, how you feel about them. Go ahead.
I didn't have a relationship with him, but I admire him a lot.
Sure.
And this teacher.
Yeah,
I admire him a lot, and we were connected at some level, but not relationship-wise. But we were connected at some level.
When you hear the word relationship, you probably think dating. For me to be in a I have a relationship with my wife. I have a relationship with my brother. I have a relationship with my friends. Many different kinds of relationship, but it's good to have that distinction. This was not someone you dated, but someone perhaps you admired, someone you also, when you say admired, you had a respect for their opinion, and you maybe respected their judgment as well.
Yes.
Okay. So it would be interesting that maybe a part of you in putting that judge there feels that other people you respect in your life might actually agree with your boyfriend's decision, that they would look at that like he made the right choice. Now, this is not to say he did make the right choice, but this is a part of you feeling doubt, maybe, that he is right. Does that make sense?
No, I don't feel any doubt that he's... He's definitely not right.
Okay.
He's downright wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah, and your waking mind and even your dreaming mind might be saying, I don't like this, this is all wrong. And then sometimes there's a small part of you that just doubts, that just says, what if he was right? And that may be what that other judge represents. That's the first thing that came to my mind is, here's another person, kind of representative of someone you knew and respected, whose judgment maybe you would actually trust, and they're going along with it. It may be just that tiny piece of doubt. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if you have a different understanding or want to offer a different interpretation of that person.
I don't have any understanding. I don't know.
Better than nothing. Yeah. No, and sometimes I've talked to some people, and this is not on any recording, but just throughout the past, where they do things in their dreams that horrify them. They do things in their dreams they would never do, things they don't believe in real life. And they're like, why would I do that? Why would I, what's an example? I stabbed someone in my dream. Why would I do that? And the first thing they think is, do I want to stab someone? No, probably not. But just the fact that there is a person, let's say in your dream, who represents someone from your past you might respect and trust, and whose opinion you would think was valid, who kind of agrees with your boyfriend. It doesn't mean that you actually do agree or actually believe he is correct, but just the idea that some small part of you has that question, what if he is? What if he did make the right decision? Even if it's not what I want, even if I think he's wrong, what if? And sometimes that comes out in the dreams, just that doubt, that little nugget that says, am I so sure about this? The dream isn't necessarily trying to tell you your boyfriend's right, you should leave him alone, but some small part of you wonders, is he right? Did he do the right thing? Even if you decide no. Does that make sense?
No, I don't have a doubt that he did the wrong thing.
Okay, fair enough. I could be completely wrong.
That's why I say that the penalty is not proportional to the activity, to my illegal activity, theoretically, to what I was being on trial for.
Yeah.
Just doing a minor thing, like I don't know, like a verbal insult, like something like that, let's say, then the penalty. So this is not proportional to the to what someone has done.
And that, I think, is very significant as well. So in your looking back at the relationship and at your own behavior, you're looking at the idea that the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Whatever you did or whatever faults he thought you had, it doesn't add up to breaking up with me. That's not justified. under the circumstances. So the verdict of executing the relationship, so to speak, was not justified by your behavior choices, things you considered rather minor infractions. Does that make sense? I think I heard you trying.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense in the dream.
To tell you the truth, and to tell the truth, the professor, my teacher, also punished me at some point, and he was really very strict and cruel, and exactly what you said, the punishment didn't fit the crime.
Yeah.
It was very, very cruel to me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Again, so you're the idea that this person would be there, also passing judgment, is it's reminding you of a past experience where again you got unjustly condemned, out of proportion to like, this shouldn't be happening. This isn't fair. This isn't a good outcome. There should be another way. That seems to be what you're feeling on the inside.
Yes, I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Do you have more questions? More elements you want to focus on?
No.
Okay, good. I don't want to. I can talk for. Well, I've done these videos for 2.5, almost 3 hours in the past, so I can talk for a long time. But I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to make sure not only I don't keep you too long, but also I don't rush you out the door. We can talk as long as you need to feel like you've explored it as fully as you want to.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Well, I hope you hang around in the Discord and come back and tell us more if you have another dream, if you have the same dream, if you have any new understandings of this dream. I would love to hear it. Hopefully that's exactly what happens with everyone I talk to. We go through the analysis, and then a little while later you have some time to think about it, and you're like, here's my new understanding. I suddenly have a better idea of what's going on. So I would hope for that. We'll see. No pressure.
Okay.
So
thanks a lot.
Say again?
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the interpretation.
Oh yeah, thank you for joining me. I always feel very grateful that people are willing to share their dreams with me.
If I have another dream, I will advise you. I will come to you for advice.
That is the highest compliment. I appreciate it. People who enjoy what I do, feel I did it well, and are willing to do it again. I appreciate that. Well, I'll let you go, and I'll say to our listeners, thanks for listening to another episode of Dreamscapes.